Student uniqueness art style, sir. Introduction is this research is all about students that are enrolled as a multimedia computing, wherein each student can be recognized for their uniqueness in terms of their own art style. So yung SOP ko po dito, sir, is yung people live differently from one to another. Same goes as art style to another art style. Kasi po, sir, yung problema po kasi is, sir, pwede po mag-Tagalog, sir.
Sige lang, sige.
Sige,
Continue lang.
salamat po, sir. Um, See, people lives different from one to another. Same goes as art style to another art style. So, yung art style po kasi, para sa akin po kasi, or napapansin ko po, yung art style po kasi ng isang tao is sa nade-develop niya po kung saan environment po siya na nakalagay. So, for example, if yung nakapaligid po sa kanya is parang medyo mahilig sila sa ah, makalumang style, yung mga parang sa, kunwari, naka,
Zoom in mo na konti yung presentation.
sir, paano ba ito? Yan po, sir. Sir, kita na po.
Okay na yan, okay na yan.
So, for example po, is yung pag ang tao nakatira siya sa Manila, sa syudad, tapos nakatira naman yung isa sa probinsya, pag pinagsabay mo po sila, sir, magkaiba po sila. Ganun din po yung art style, sir. May ano po sila, um, sariling pinagmulan, sir. So, being different from one to another, student tends to have a hard time on following other art styles, especially if the assigned project has a fixed art style to follow. So, yung goal po dito is to teach student on how they can solve their problem on having a hard time to adapt other art style. And the objectives is the things that are needed to do in order to accomplish the goal is to teach students to have them practice in different art style. Students should learn techniques on how to draw certain art style, for example, 3D, realistic, cartoon, etc. Yung target user po dito, sir, is that are studying in multimedia, sir. Yung pangalawang research title ko po, sir, is Animator Creating New Ideas. Introduction. What is art? Art is a creative activity that expresses imaginative or technical skills. Nowadays, people tend to be interested on something new, and that's why animators are generating ideas that can please the audience to give them good vibes or can feel something that can refresh their eyes. So, ano na po kasi ngayon, sir, 2021 na po, kung saan po yung mga tao po, di na po sila na, di na po napupuko yung interest nila sa mga, ano, makalumang ideas, sir. So, mas interesting po sa kanila yung mga bago. So, ngayon po, ang problema po ngayon is sa mga animator, creating something from scratch is not easy to do. Animators are having a hard time generating ideas that are unique and something that can catches the attention of the audience, especially in this generation, where people already want something that is not recycled ideas. So, yung animators po, nahihirapan na po silang mag-create ng ideas ngayon para maano lang yung attention ng audience, sir. So, ang goal ko po dito is the goal is to have animator to generate new ideas from scratch so they can produce something that is new to audience. So, yung objective, sir, in order to do this, is animators should, should suggest that they should rest. Kasi pinaka-importante po kasi para sa akin, sir, yung pahinga, sir. Kasi if pagod ka, sir, hindi magpa-function na maayos yung utak mo. Kasi kapag stress, puro kadalasan po, mali-mali na yung nagagawa. Ganun po, sir. Medyo hindi na po maganda yung mga naiisip. So, isa rin yung, sir, kailangan nila ng, ng fresh air, sir. Yung pumunta sila sa mountains, beach, park, or kung saan man na mare-refresh sila. Kasi, sir, sometimes yung idea po, nag-generate po kung yung ideas po, simple. Ika, sir, isipin ko lang, sir. Yung ideas kasi, sir, siya, may inspiration siya, sir. So, para magawa mo yun, you should watch movies. or listening to music, sir. Generating arts comes with inspiration nga po, sir. So yung target user po dito, sir, is people that are working in animation studio. Yung pangatlo naman po is copyright issues in animating studio. Ito po yung isa sa kadalasang nangyayari, sir, sa mga baguhan po na animator. So introduction dito is an animation industry. Every studio has a unique way of art style. These are studios that are creating a character matured, others are doing cartoon, everyone's unique way of animating. That's where the problem occurs. So for example na lang po, sir, kapag yung ah, baguhan na animator nag-isip siya ng iba ideas, um, medyo nasali niya po yung kunwari si Mickey Mouse yung logo niya. Nalagay niya po dun sa sa ideas na cartoon na ginawa niya. So, pwede po siya makasuhan ng copyright issues ni Disney po dun, sir. So, yung problema dito is every now and then, the animation industry is still growing larger than before. There are lots of animation studio being born every year. Therefore, there are lots of new generations of animator are being born each year. Creating new characters is not hard. Animators are creating characters and others can't notice that they accidentally copied a character that someone else created. So yun na nga po, sir, yung nasabi ko po kanina is, for example, nakagawa yung tao yung isang animator ng cartoon niya, tapos may nalagay siyang logo ng gawa ng ibang dun, copyright issues po siya dun, sir. So the goal is to reduce copyright issues of new animators. So para magawa po yun, animators should be fully aware of each person's right. Having a smooth start, animators should research what are the do's and don'ts in the animation industry. There are words called innovating to improve art to make it better. Animators should do that in order to avoid copyright issues. Target users are yung future animators po. Yun na po yun, sir.
Okay. So, balik ka sa topic 1.
All po, sir.
So, student uniqueness art style. So, nakalagay dito, no? Uh, based on your topic 1, nakalagay dito, your goal, taas mo nga ng konti para makita ko yung goal.
Ito po, sir.
The goal is to teach students on how they can solve their problem on having a hard time to adopt other art style. Ano yung pinaka-output mo dito? Kasi kasi na-notice ko, all of your topics, all of your objectives is broad, no? You didn't specify what is your output to solve the problem. To solve your problem statement, what is your output?
Mm. Ano po, sir?
What is your output? Kasi napansin ko dito that in your goal, you did not really mention kung ano talaga yung output na target mo. Ngayon, ano
Mm.
yung pinaka-output mo dito?
Sir, sir, para matulungan po yung mga ay, oo nga po, sir, di ko po. Talagay ko po dapat po dito, sir, yung multimedia student po, no, sir, hindi po student lang.
Hindi. Yung dun kasi sa goal mo, dapat nakalagay dyan kung ano yung, di ba, sabi ko sa inyo,
Ah,
this is intended for capstone, di ba? Ano yung pinaka-output mo?
so, sir, dapat hindi siya student lang po, sir.
Hindi, okay lang yan. Okay lang yan. Actually, wala namang kaso yan. Kung student, kung professional uniqueness, walang kaso yan. Pero dun sa goal mo, halimbawa, no, problem statement mo, people lives differently from one to another. Same goes as art style to another art style. Being different from one to another. Student tends to have a hard time on following other art styles, especially if the assigned project has a fixed art style to follow. Okay? Now, ang goal mo is to teach students on how they can solve their problem on having a hard time to adopt other art style. Paano mo sila tuturuan? How?
Um,
Oo,
Sir,
kasi 'di
yung
ba
ano,
nakita mo, baba mo ng konti sa objective. O yan, okay. Diyan sa objective mo, dapat meron din yang specific, okay, specific objective, no? Ano yung kaso ang problema dahil dun sa goal mo, hindi mo na establish kung ano yung pinaka-goal mo. You have the goal, okay, to teach the student. Pero ang tanong doon, how are you going to teach the student? Doon papasok yung proposal mo. Doon papasok yung proposal mo. Ano ba to? Is it an animation that would teach how to adapt other art style? Okay, ganun ba siya? Is it
ah,
infomercial? Is it documentary? Nagigets mo ba yung ibig ko sabihin?
yes po, sir.
Oo. Yun yung hinahanap ko dito. Okay? Yun yung hinahanap ko. Kung paano mo ma-answer yon? Yeah, it's easy to say that the goal is to teach students on how are they going to solve the problem. Pero ang question doon, how? How are you going to do that? Okay? Are you going to create a 30-minute animation teaching them how to adopt other art style? What are the different techniques on how are you going to adopt an art style? Plus, no, ililimit mo pa yon. Anong klaseng art style lang ba? Kasi maraming klase ng art style eh.
Yes po, sir.
Oh, mamimili ka lang din doon.
Ay, isa lang
Okay?
po yung dapat dun, sir.
Hindi naman, mamimili ka ng let's say, kasi kung
Kung ano po
i-adapt
yung
mo lahat
ituturo,
ng
sir.
art style, ang dami nun. Hindi
Yes
ka
po.
matatapos sa output mo. Given the fact, halimbawa, bigyan kita ng senaryo, no? Let's say gagawa kayo ng capstone sa capstone nyo tapos ang length ng capstone nyo is 15 to 20 minutes.
Yes po,
Kung
sir.
i-cover mo lahat ng art style, baka hindi mo matapos yung 15 to 20 minutes. Baka abutin pa yan ng isang oras at kalahati.
Yes po, sir.
Napakabigat na nun. Okay,
Opo.
sa pagkikreate ng animation nun, no? Same goes with your other topic. Ganon din yung naging problem, no? Hindi mo
Yung
na specify ano yung output mo. Ano
kung
yung
paano po
pinaka
yung...
ano mo, ano yung pinaka product mo para matulungan sila. Okay? Oh, sinabi mo lang ganito, tutulungan kita na ganyan, tutulungan kita na ganyan. Pero ang tanong doon paano? Okay, kailangan naka-include 'yon. How are you going to do that?
Yes po.
Halimbawa, the goal is to teach students on how are they going to solve their problem on having a hard time to adapt other style through
Through, ano, sir. Kunwari, sir, ano, animation, gano'n na, sir.
okay, through
Short animation. Ano ba
yun,
yan?
ganun. Ganun siya.
Nakalimutan
No?
ko, sir. Medyo naligaw na ako, confused po kasi ako sa dalawa, sir.
Mm. Ngayon, ganun din sa iba, no? So, same goes with other topics. Actually, okay naman sila. Kaso, kulang lang, no? Now, ang gagawin kasi dito is i-upload ko, babaguhin mo to, no? Babaguhin mo to. So, babaguhin mo 'yan in accordance to the comments that I have mentioned, lahat 'yon. Tapos, magbibigay ako ng link later on pagkatapos na lahat ng classmates mo wherein you're going to upload yung ginawa nyo. Okay, na bago. But then you don't have to represent the
Parang i-revise
presentation.
na po, sir.
I-revise nyo lang 'yan, pero hindi nyo na i-present ulit,
Okay po,
no?
sir.
Same goes with the other topic. Sige nga,
Sir, sa
topic
po,
2 nga.
pag nirevise po, sir, sa po isasend, sir.
Yun, hindi ko pa ina-up yung link. Sabay-sabay yan. No? And Torrent, the goal is to help animators to generate new ideas from scratch so they can produce something that is new to audience. Yan, medyo mahirap to ha. Yan. Paano? Naisip mo ba? Paano?
Dito ko, sir, nilagay yung ano, sa objectives ko nalagay, sir, yung ano.
Ito. Ang datingan mo dito, yung goal mo, pagka pinanood ko yung animation na gagawin mo, magkakaroon ako ng bagong idea. Yan yun. Ganyan siya. So, tignan mo, mabuti kung yan talaga yung goal mo.
Okay.
Ha? So, tignan mo siya mabuti. Okay, topic 3.
Ito po, sir.
The goal is to reduce copyright issues of a new animators. Ito rin, medyo maano rin to. Pagka ba pinanood yung animation mo, Would it reduce copyright issues?
Events pa rin po yung data yun, sir.
Oh, 'di ba? So, hindi reduce, no? Aware.
Okay.
Okay? Magiging aware sila, pero hindi ka makakatulong para ma-reduce yung copyright issues. Hindi yan masasagot ng kahit na anong capstone. Yung
Okay.
copyright issues, hindi yan masasagot, no? So, yan, no?
Sir, so medyo na-gets ko na po yung part ko, sir.
Hmm. Yun, no? So, ganun yung gagawin mo. So, lahat yan, okay, papalitan mo, i-revise mo in accordance to my preference, no? Kung ano yung sinabi ko kanina. Kasi kung halimbawa, broad pa rin yan, malaki pa rin yung coverage niya, medyo mahihirapan tayo dyan, no? Okay, so ngayon pa lang, tinatama natin para if in case na isa yan sa mapipiling capstone project in the near future, next semester, di ba? Medyo okay-okay na. Okay? Oo. So titignan ko yung ano niyan, titignan ko yung revise niyan later on pagka sinabit mo.
Thank
So
you.
upon leaving this room, pwede mo nang i-edit yan para pagka pinasubmit ko, isasubmit nyo na lang. Okay?
Yes po. Thank you po.
Okay. So okay na tayo. Question, may
Yes,
question ka ba?
yan po, sir. Revise ko na lang po yung mga.
Sige,
Dapat,
revise
sir,
mo na.
mag-specific siya na, sir.
Oo, dapat masasagot niya. Tsaka dapat yung magiging goal mo measurable.
Okay.
Oo, no? Kasi kung hindi measurable yung ano mo, yung goal mo, ang hirap niyang i-achieve. There's no way how are you going to measure kung na-achieve mo na. Kagaya niyan,
Okay, sir.
to reduce copyright issues. Naku, paano mo ma-measure yung marireduce yung copyright issues? Wala naman
Sabagay.
tayong way on how are we going to see whether to prove na nung ginawa mo yan marireduce yung copyright issues, di ba? Nagigets mo naman yung ibig ko
Yes po,
sabihin, di
sir.
ba?
Parang ano
So
lang po
good.
yun, sir, yung parang hindi out of your control, so
Oo,
iyaan
yung
mo
mga
na.
yung mga ganun, hindi mo na dapat nilalagay yon. Kasi though the intention is there, pero it's hard to measure, no?
Yes po, sir.
Na pwede kasi natin sabihin, oh, marireduce natin yan. Pero paano natin mapapatunayan na reduce? No? May data ba tayo? Magkakaroon ba tayo ng data? So, yun yung magiging problema mo dyan. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sige. I'll go with the
Sir.
next. Okay na tayo, Kim?
Okay po, thank you po, sir.
Okay. Okay, share mo na yung screen mo, tapos start ka na.
Kita na po ba, sir?
Sige, go ahead. Mag-start ka na. Nakikinig ako.
So, yung first topic ko po, sir, is about novel coronavirus awareness. Introduction. The World Health Organization, or WHO, was alert to a cluster of
Hindi
human
nakaano yung ano mo,
pathogens.
yung presentation.
Pa,
Nasa ano pa rin siya title.
yan, sir. Okay na po.
Yan, sige, go ahead.
Uh, Yung first topic ko po is about novel coronavirus awareness COVID-19. Introduction. The World Health Organization WHO was alert to a cluster of pneumonia patient in Wuhan City, Hubei province of China in the month of 31 of December in a year 2019. 1 week later, on January 7, 2020, the authorities of China confirmed that they have identified a novel new coronavirus of COVID-19 as the cause of pneumonia. The first three confirmed cases of the said disease were recorded at the month of January and February in the year 2020, and a total of seven new cases tested positive for COVID-19 in the month of March between 6 and 8. The fourth case was recognized to be a 48-year-old Filipino with a travel history to Japan and returned to the Philippines last February 25 and experienced chills and fever on March 3, and as shown in the result conducted on March 5, he was tested positive for COVID-19. Evidence show that COVID-19 can be transmitted from one individual to another. As of March 7, 420 cases have been reported. WHO 2020. As of the month of 3 January 2020 to 13 October in 2021, there are 2,608 2,683,372 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 39,896 deaths was reported to the World Health Organization. A total of 45,601,096 vaccine dose has been administered in the month of 29 September 21 recorded in the Philippines. The spread of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 in the Philippines is continuously rising since the first outbreak that urged the people to be more aware in the virus. Because of this, proponents propose an animated infomercial to be a wide range of the awareness to people and children. So yun sir, yung introduction ko po is about sa um, COVID-19 po sa pag-increase po ng mga positive cases po. Then, the problem statement is the novel coronavirus has continuously spread in the country, in the world, not having enough awareness that could be understood by a wider range of
Lipat mo yung PowerPoint mo. Hindi siya sumunod.
yung una po, sir.
Hindi, yan no, nasa introduction pa din siya. Yung
Oo,
PowerPoint mo.
nakalipat na po, sir. Wait lang.
Ano yan? I-share mo yung ano. Yan. Yan. Problem statement.
Problem statement. The novel coronavirus COVID-19 has continuously spread in the country and in the world, not having enough awareness that could be understood by a wider range of audience or people can help to lessen the number of cases being recorded day by day. The proponents would make an animated infomercial that could reach a wider audience, including children, that could give them awareness about the COVID-19. The goal the goal of this study is to make a provide an animated infomercial to age 10 and above. This would spread a awareness to wider range of audience including children. Then yung objectives po is create an animated infomercial to give awareness regarding to the novel coronavirus COVID-19. Then yung mga specific objectives po is to be more aware of the virus COVID-19, to educate people including children on how can they help in lessening the spread of the COVID-19 in the country. Then ito po yung timeline ko, sir. Meron pong mga nag-overlaps po dito, like yung dito sa character designing, then storyboarding, then character animation, hanggang sa key animation po, sir.
Okay. So, yung topic mo na yan, okay, based dun sa documentation mo, tama siya. Okay, tama yung document mo, tama yung statement of the problem mo, tama yung goal mo. Pero ang problema lang dyan sa topic mo na yan is, it's still, parang ano na siya, common. Kasi marami nang lumabas na infomercial, advertisement, documentary about COVID-19. Yun lang yung magiging drawback niyan. Pero the format nung topic 1 mo is correct. Okay, tama naman siya. So ibig sabihin, if this topic is already common, ang magiging problem mo lang dito is hindi siya ma-approve ng panel mo pagka ito ipe-present mo as capstone project. Kasi it is already, kumbaga, kahit sa YouTube, magtingin ka, madami ng animated na ganyan. Okay? Unless parang iti-tailor mo siya in 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 a setting or in a venue, like for example, how Systems Plus would uh, tawag dito, would fight against COVID-19, pwede yung ganun. Okay? Pero for the whole country, medyo malabo siya dahil marami nang lumabas. Pero the topic 1 is the format of topic 1 is correct. Okay? So wala kang babaguhin dito sa topic 1, okay to, accepted to. Okay? So proceed to topic 2.
Then yung second topic ko naman po, sir, is about the effect of pandemic in online class po. Yung introduction is, the research suggests that online learning should be adapted at this time. According to the research of Kathy Lee and Farah Lalani, even before the outbreak of the COVID-19, high growth of adaptation in education technology are already being considered. And in the year 2019, global edtech investments reaching for about US US 18.66 billion US dollars, and the online education market is expected to reach $350 billion by the year of 2025. The surge in usage started since the outbreak of the COVID-19, whether it is language apps, virtual tutoring, video conferencing tools, or online learning softwares. The outbreak of the pandemic, the COVID-19, has resulted in the school across the world to shut down, and there are 1.2 billion children in 186 countries are out of the classroom globally. Education has changed. Digital platforms were the one taking over the teaching across the world, and the usage of online learning has become the new normal since the outbreak. The proponents suggest to make an edutainment on how to be more knowledgeable in using the different online learning apps that the student and teachers can use in making the online learning enjoyable like the face-to-face class. Then the problem statement is the outbreak that result lot of school globally to shut down that caused for the surge of using the different online platforms that could be used in the learning. The proponents will make a edutainment on how to make knowledgeable in using the different online learning apps that could make it much more efficient for the teachers and students to learn and teach. Then the goal of this edutainment is for the teachers and students age 3 to 65 years old to be more knowledgeable in using the different learning platforms and make it more efficient for them to learn and teach while we're in the midst of the pandemic. Then the objective is make an edutainment for the teachers and students be more knowledgeable in using the different learning platforms. Specific objectives to help the teachers and students to be more knowledgeable in using different learning platforms. B. To make it more efficient for them to learn. Then yung ano ko po sir, same lang po dun sa una.
Oo, balik mo dun sa ano, sa goal. Okay. Ang magiging problem mo lang dito is, sabi mo dito, the proponents will make an edutainment on how to uh, more knowledgeable in using this different online learning apps. Ang problem mo lang dito is marami masyado to. Okay?
Opo
So
sir.
babaguhin mo to. Ito ang babaguhin mo, no? You have to limit kung anong learning app. Okay? Kasi kung halimbawa, lahat ng learning app i-cover mo, yung edutainment mo is halimbawa yung capstone nyo is only for 15 minutes to 20 minutes. Kung lahat 'yon, okay, ituturo mo do sa edutainment mo, what will happen? It would make you around 1 hour down to 3 hours kung lahat 'yon. Now you have to limit kung ano lang talaga yung mga kailangan or ano lang yung basic. Let's say for example again, no? You may proceed with the limitation na halimbawa yung ginagamit lang in systems class, gano'n. Or
Opo.
in MS Teams, Google Meet, yung mga gano'n lang. Pero okay, yung lahat, no? Yung lahat ng 'yon iko-cover mo, that would be very difficult on your part. So in this portion ng document mo, babaguhin mo 'to, no?
Opo sir.
Okay? So after kasi ng discussion natin ngayon, you have to edit yung sinabi ko, and then later on magbibigay ako ng link kung saan niyo i-upload lahat ng edited na documents niyo. Okay? So ganun siya. So
Pero
kailangan
yung
yung
opo. Pero yung
kailangan
ito
yung
po age bracket sir, okay lang po ba ito sir?
oo, dapat puwede mo rin kasing ano, puwede mo rin kasing ilagay diyan kung ano specifically, college ba kailangan pa nilang matuto ng ganyan? So I doubt college hindi na, eh. So halimbawa senior high gano'n, yung, elementary 'no, yung mga gano'n. So puwede mong i-limit din kung anong grade level lang,
Opo.
okey? So gano'n siya, ha, okey? So
Opo.
proceed tayo sa topic 3 mo.
So yung topic 3 ko po is about promoting BSEMC course. Introduction. The Bachelor of Science in Entertainment and Multimedia Computing is the study of principles, concepts, and techniques in computing the design and multimedia products and solution development. That includes science, entertainment, education, stimulation, games, and advertising as its various application. The program aims to train and teach students on how develop a game. Student will be learning on how to conceive, and design the rule of the game, which it was called as a game designer. The game artist, the one of who developed the game or a software. Student will have opportunity to learn on how to be a level designer, which they were tasked to create the challenges in the game. Sound effect is also being taught, which is has handles by the sound engineers. The student will be equipped with the knowledge of both creative and technical skills and values in designing and conceptualizing animation. The Bachelor of Science in Entertainment and Multimedia Computing is not yet known by many students. The proponent suggests to make a commercial to introduce the curriculum for it to be more popular and familiar for the student. Then the problem statement. The program of the curriculum Bachelor of Science in Entertainment and Multimedia Computing seems like it's not yet known by many students. The proponent will make a commercial that could introduce the course to the student and make it more familiar with them. Then the goal. The goal of this commercial is to promote the curriculum of Bachelor of Science in Entertainment and Multimedia Computing to the students and its program with the age of 18 and above for them to be more familiar with the course. Objectives. Create a commercial that could promote the Bachelor of Science in Entertainment and Multimedia Computing and and its program to the students for them to be more familiar with the course. Then the specific objectives are to promote the course of Bachelor of Science in Entertainment and Multimedia Computing to the students, to be more familiar with the course and its program. Then yung same lang din po yung timeline po.
Okay, ang question ko lang dito, are you going to promote Bachelor of Science in Entertainment and Multimedia Computing as a whole or specifically for Systems Plus lang?
For Systems Plus, sir.
Oo, dapat ilalagay mo 'yon doon
Ah,
that you are going to promote BSc-MC course of Systems Plus College Foundation, no? Kasi kung ganyan, eto, no, yung sa document mo, hindi nakalagay na kasi even other schools do have BSc-MC, no?
yes.
Since hindi mo nilagay na ang pinopromote mo is for Systems Plus, it would take na parang buong basta course ng BSc-MC regardless what BSc-MC particular in the Philippines siya. So, kung specifically for Systems Plus so that yung mag-evaluate niyan is coming from also from Systems Plus. So, ilalagay mo diyan na from Systems Plus siya. So,
Opo.
konti lang naman yung i-edit mo, yung i-revise mo. So, nakuha mo kasi yung tamang template, tamang format nung document. So, okay na okay siya. Good job siya.
Opo.
I-edit mo na lang yung document natin in accordance to what I have said and commented, no? Tapos,
Yes, sir.
wait the link na lang for you to upload it. Okay?
Opo, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, question. Wala na? Wala kang question?
Wala na po, sir.
Okay, sige, sige. Okay, thank you. I'll proceed with the next one.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Share mo na yung presentation mo, then you may start
Okay
discussing.
po. Kita po ba, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ito po yung first topic ko, sir. Effects of game educational tool. Video games are widely known as an excellent source of entertainment, and according to some, they can be a great help as an educational tool because of their interactivity. What a lot of what a lot of people don't know is that they can be good for those who play them for fun as well as for learning. Examples of games for educational tool is IQ games, puzzle, adventure, and word games. Studies have shown that children playing educational games learn more because they don't realize that they are learning. Games can be great tool for learning and developing one's mind. Games are wonderful source of entertainment and learning that can come in all kinds of forms. They provide a unique, interactive, and complex activity. Then sa problem statement, there are problems that needed to be addressed when it comes to gaming. People, especially parents, needed to understand that gaming can also be a tool when it comes to education. Students are using gadgets in their early age. There are games that are developed today not only for fun but also to teach children. So this is the pre-guide question. What are the disadvantages of gaming? What are the advantages of gaming? And what are the recommended games for the user to use? So my goal, the researchers want to prove that gaming is not just for fun, but also it can be an educational tool for the students. The objective of this study is to determine the advantages and disadvantages of gaming, and also to recommend some educational games to the students to prove that gaming is not bad, but it can also help students learn by it. So the target user of this research is the grade school students and parents.
Okay. Bago ka mag-start sa topic number 2, okay, magko-comment muna ako. Balik mo sa goal.
Go on.
Ayan. Okay, tignan mo dito sa goal mo, ha. Goal mo, the researcher wants to prove that gaming is not for fun, but also it can be an educational tool for the student. Paano mo mapoprove yun?
Ano po sir, tulad po nung, lalo ngayon sir, nasa online class na tayo. Maraming games na de-develop hindi lang para sa entertainment. Yung mga pangbata po para mas na-educate sila sa
Kaya
paglalaro
nga, ang
din.
question ko, paano mo mapoprove na educational tool din yung game? Na pwede siya maging educational tool. May study ba? Okay, na nagsasabi na this could be an educational tool. Now, on your end, paano mo siya mapoprove na pwede siyang educational tool? Tapos yung objective mo, ano yung pinakagagawin mo dito? Ano yung pinakagagawin mo para ma-prove mo yon?
Ano
Do you
po
have
sir,
any idea?
doon pa lang po sa kunwari sa tutorial ng game, ano pa lang. Ay hindi sa umpisa ng game. May mga ang tawag doon sir, parang rules na pang ano talaga siya. Parang play to learn ganun sir.
Oo. Medyo kasi, you need to edit this part, ha? Yung goal, yung objective, yan. I-edit
Okay
mo
po.
yan. Patingin ako nung problem statement mo. Okay lang naman tong problem statement po. Pero ang problem mo dito is yung sa goal.
Goal.
Kasi hinahanap ko dito, ano yung pinaka-output mo? Ano yung pinaka-capstone project mo dito? Oo, 'di ba? Halimbawa, 'di ba, diniscuss ko before. Sabi ko pagka magpo-propose kayo, kailangan nakalagay doon ano yung output mo, ano yung pinaka-capstone project mo, ano yung gagawin mong animation. Okay? Na question, ano yung gagawin mong animation dito?
Mga ano po, mga kunwari, grade school student na naglalaro ng educational tool. Tapos yung parents naman na, yung iba kasi pong parents tulad
Bigyan mo
ng
ako ng example, bigyan mo ako ng idea. Ano yung magiging laman ng animation mo? Sige nga.
ano po, mga, yun nga po, naglalaro po yung mga ano, ed, ng mga games na natututo sila. Yun po yung i-anime.
Okay. So ganito no, you balikan mo 'to ha, balikan mo 'to.
Okay.
Kailangan medyo yung pruweba mo dito is concrete, no? Yung proof mo dito is concrete. What do we mean by that? Halimbawa, no, itong goal mo is you want to prove that the gaming is not for fun but also it can be an educational tool for the student. Ano yung gagawin mo para ma-prove mo 'yon? Okay, ano yung gagawin mo? Gagawa ka ba ng animation na magpapakita na ang game could be an educational tool? May kwento ka ba na si Juan, no? Ginagamit niya yung game para matuto siya. Okay, ganun ba yung gagawin mo? So,
Oh,
tignan mo muna mabuti ha, tignan mo muna mabuti and you edit this. Kailangan mong i-edit 'to. Kailangan
okay
mong
po.
i-correct 'to. Now, one suggestion is you think tignan mo dun sa Teams natin, marami nang naka-upload dun na sample presentations ng mga classmates mo. Makikita mo dun kung paano gumawa ng tamang goal, paano gumawa ng tamang objective. Pwede mong i-pattern yun dun sa kanila. Kasi ito,
Okay.
hindi ko makita kung ano yung pinaka-output mo dito. May gusto kang patunayan, correct. May gusto kang patunayan na gusto mong sabihin na the game can be an educational tool. Pero paano? Paano mo siya patutunayan? What are you going to do to prove that this educational tool is a game, no? So
Okay.
paano? Nagigets mo ba yung ibig ko sabihin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 'yon, no? Okay? So take note mo 'yon kasi yung edited neto ng file na 'to kukunin ko. Okay? So ibig sabihin pag after dito, hindi ka pa tapos.
Edit ko pa po.
I-edit mo pa 'yan in accordance dun sa comment ko. Tapos isasubmit mo 'yan. Okay?
Opo.
Yung submission, hintayin mo yung link na i-up ko dun sa MS Teams. Okay?
Okay po.
Okay, proceed ka sa topic number 2.
Topic number 2, reasons why Filipino animators want to work abroad. Animation, it is an art of making inanimate objects appear to move. Today, most of animation are created with computer-generated images. Filipino are also responsible for well-known cartoons and animated films like Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, Dragon Ball, Captain Planet, The Mask, and Finding Nemo. The absence of large animation firms capable of supporting and fulfilling huge international clients is one of the Philippine animation industry's difficulties. Average monthly salary, 1,500 to 15,000 in peso bill. Local animators in the Philippines will continue to seek employment higher paying jobs outside the country. There are a lot of opportunities in other countries like Spain, Japan, France, and South Korea. Problem statement. There is a need to identify the problem of the animation industry in the Philippines, as this problem will further use to know why Filipino animators want to work abroad instead in the Philippines. First guide question, what are the problems of animation industry in the Philippines? Why do Filipino animators prefer to work abroad instead in the Philippines? And what recommendation may be proposed to enhance the facilities of the animation industry here in the Philippines? The researcher aimed to know why Filipino animator wants to work abroad instead of working in the Philippines. Why they always choose other countries than the Philippines. The objective of this study is to determine the problem of animation industry in the Philippines. To understand why do Filipino animators want to work abroad and to know what other countries has to offer Filipinos animator that Philippine animation industry doesn't. Target user, animation industry and CEO companies.
Okay, balikan natin 'yan. The researcher aims to know why Filipino animators want to work abroad instead of working in the Philippines. Why they are always choose other countries than the Philippines. Medyo yung goal mo dito patanong lahat eh, no? So
Opo,
ano 'to? Dapat 'to nasa problem statement, no?
opo,
Okay. Nasa problem statement dapat 'to. Ang ilalagay mo dito again, no? Again, ang ilalagay mo dito is yung output mo. No, yung output.
opo.
So, bisitahin mo ulit 'to. Same comment lang 'to doon sa first topic mo. Okay? Kailangan nakalagay dito ano ba 'yan? Is it a short film na pinapakita bakit nag-a-abroad yung mga Filipino? Is it a infomercial na nagbibigay ng campaign na 'wag nang umalis yung mga Filipino animators, no? You put it in the goal. Tapos yung
Okay,
objective. Okay? Yung objective, specific objectives mo, ilalagay mo rin dito. Okay?
okay.
Okay. Topic 3.
Third topic. The reason why students taking multimedia arts in the System Plus College Foundation lose interest and skills in their studies. Multimedia arts involve subjects related to video editing, animation, motion design, and graphic design. Animation students lose interest and inspiration to create art. Not all topics and projects spark creativity in all animation students. Not all students are expert in traditional art nor digital art. Lack of these skills may hinder students to advance in their academics. It may cause them to lose confidence and interest in their chosen field. There are problems that the students are facing. That is why they often lose interest and skills in their passion. There is a need to determine what are the reasons behind why the students are losing their interest and skills in multimedia arts. Why are the reasons why what are the reasons why the students is losing interest and skills in multimedia arts? What is the most occurring problem among the reasons? And what action plan can be recommended to bring back the students' interest and to increase their skill in multimedia arts? And also for the professors to know what are alternative plans for them to help the students. Go. The researchers wants to know what are the possible problems or reasons why the students are losing interest in skill in multimedia. To know what are the reasons and what is the most occurring problem among the reasons. To create an action plan for the students, guide them what to do to bring back their interest and skills in multimedia arts. To know what alternative plans can be the professors create for them to help the students. Target users, multimedia professors in SPCF and students in school.
Okay. Ito naman, ang problem mo dito is saan ka kukuha ng source? Okay, what do we mean by saan ka kukuha ng source? Okay? May study ba? Okay, meron bang study na nagpapakita na bakit na nawawalan ng interest, okay? And skill. Bakit sila nawawalan ng interest and skills? Meron bang study na magso-support dun sa ginagawa mo? Tapos hindi ko lang maisip, what would be your output in this? Ano yung pinaka-output mo? Papakita mo ba kung bakit nawawalan ng interest yung isang estudyante? Or ipapakita mo paano bumalik yung interest ng isang estudyante? How? Okay? So, ibig sabihin, itong goal mo, objective mo, babaguhin mo din. So,
Okay po.
lahat yon, no? Lahat yon. Yung first topic mo, down to third topic, kailangan makita ko yung pagbabago ng goal, objective, no? If you need to tweak
Opo.
also or change yung statement of the problem mo, gawin mo din, no? So,
Opo.
kagaya nga na sinabi ko sa'yo, advice ko sa'yo, you try to look the different PowerPoint presentation uploaded on the video dun sa mga in-upload ko dun sa MS Teams. Makikita mo dun how are you going to do a proper template in creating those goal, objective, and statement of the problem. Okay?
Opo.
So, i-take
Okay po.
note mo yon. Ito naman, recorded din naman to. So, ma-upload din to. So, anytime na gusto mong balikan yung comments ko,
Balikan.
okay, mababalikan mo siya. Ma-upload to after ng meeting natin. Okay?
Okay po.
So, I expect na this one would be edited. So, pag sinabit sa akin to, dapat edited to. Your midterm examination is not yet completed, no? Unless isasubmit sa akin yung edited na to. Okay?
Okay po.
Okay, may question ka pa?
Wala na po, sir.
Okay, so kung wala na, sige, go ahead. I'll go for the next student. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you po, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hindi po.
Okay, open your camera, then display your presentation, then you may already start.
Okay po, sir. Wait lang po, sir. Okay po, sir. Mag-start na po ako. So, I'm John Malbog po, sir, and this is my title proposal. The first one is the positive and negative effects of online games during the pandemic. And first up is the introduction, sir. Nilagay ko po dito is video games such as Pong, made from 1972, Hunt the Wampus from 1972, Empire from 1977, Dungeons and Dragons from 1977, etc., were the games that had been created at the time and in particular have been evolving alongside technology over the years. Given the restricted resources and technology available at the time, games were so simplistic and distinctive in their own right that comparing any video games from this era to present technologies is a vastly different experience. However, despite a worldwide epidemic that has been going for more than a year, time spent on video games has been doubled since the pandemic began. It means that a lot of people are turned to video gaming as a form of entertainment during long periods of being locked down at home. And according to Clement J. from 2021, in spring 2020, gaming quickly emerged as one of the most popular activities during the initial outbreak of the global COVID-19 pandemic as user engagement and spending surged between February and April of that year. Especially younger generations, like Gen Z and millennials, spent more time on gaming as the medium was a convenient way to spend time during initial stay at home orders, lockdowns, and social distancing. Then, while being on the subject, video games has its positive and negative effects that users are not fully aware of, and this can be physical or psychological. It is important to know what consequences video games will it give to the users. Then I'll move on from my problem statement. This study attempts to determine the effects of those who have been playing video games since the outbreak began. One of the main focus of this study is to give educational information during the pandemic. Unfortunately, these days users are not well informed on the educational information about topics such as like this. Rather, they would just concentrate and focus on the games they play and would not mind this at all. Then, a lot of users who play are not fully aware of consequences of playing video games, which can lead to them be exposed to the negative effects. This study can provide and give users the knowledge of the effects and can reduce the risk by producing a short educational animation video. Then, I'll move on for sir on my goal. The goal of this study is to offer awareness and give knowledge about the positive effects it can give you during the pandemic, while also reduce the risks of negative effects that users don't expect to notice on the short run by making a short educational animation. This goal also can help the users know what are the do's and don'ts. With this study, users who play video games, especially Gen Z and millennials, will know what consequences can it give to users who play too much video games. Schools like Systems Plus College Foundation can play this video to students to help raise awareness. Then, on to my objectives, sir. In regards of this study, there are few objectives that would like to be accomplished, and hopefully, the objectives of this study can help the goals to be accomplished. The objectives of this study are stated below. The first one is to give knowledge and awareness on what kind of positive effects can video games give users to who play games for entertainment, and what kind of negative effects can video games give to users who play too much to reduce the risk. Then the second one is to create a short educational animation video about what are the current positive and negative effects of playing video games for schools to show students. Then I'll move on for on my target users. The target users for this study are the high school students and college students. This is because high school and college students fit in the average age of users who play video games, which is 14 to 34 years of age. However, this study can also be targeted to any users who play video games starting from 6 to 64 years of age and above. This can also be targeted to the high school and college students of Systems Plus College Foundation. Then, this is my Gantt chart, sir. Yun lang po.
Okay, yung Gantt chart mo dapat yan naka-bar, no? Medyo
Okay po,
mahirap
sir.
siyang intindihin.
Mahirap po tignan. Okay po.
Oo, papalitan mo 'yan, yang Gantt chart mo.
Okay
Tapos
po.
balik tayo dun sa goal mo, goal and objective. 'Yan. So the goal of the study is to offer awareness and give knowledge about the positive effects that it can give you during the pandemic,
Yes,
while
sir.
also reduce the risk of negative. Siguro, ano, what you're going to do is you have to focus on one goal na lang. Kasi may
One goal.
specific
Okay po.
objective ka pa eh. O, kagaya nito, the goal is to study and offer awareness and give knowledge about the positive effect during the pandemic, di ba? So,
Okay po, sir.
medyo ano siya, maybe you could have this goal can help the users to know what are the do's and don'ts ng alin. Ng, what do you mean by do's and don'ts ng alin to?
Parang ano, sir, parang basic etiquette or parang what you call that, sir? Yung parang do's and don'ts, sir, para hindi halos ano po itong do's and don'ts, sir, sa ano eh, sa negative effects para ma-reduce po yung risk, parang ganun, sir.
Oh, you
Parang
have to specify. Medyo
okay po.
kailangan i-ano mo diyan yung specify mo kung anong klase ng do's and
Do's and
don'ts 'yan.
don'ts. Okay po, sir.
Oo, specify mo. Kasi lahat ng kino-comment ko, your midterm examination would not be final unless isasubmit nyo yung edited na PowerPoint.
Okay
But
po,
then,
sir.
you don't need to represent it again, no? Hindi nyo na
Opo,
siya
sir.
i-represent again. Okay? So, yun lang naman yung comment ko dito for your topic 1. Proceed to topic 2.
Ano po kasi ulit dito, sir, sa first
Yung goal.
topic?
Yung goal.
Ano po, no? I-specify.
Rephrase mo lang, specify
Okay
mo
po.
lang.
Okay po, sir.
Wag mong i-cover na masyadong marami.
Opo, okay po, sir.
Okay? So, yan. Tapos, okay naman yan. Siguro, yung video game mo lang, tignan mo lang kung anong klase ng video game are you referring to. Is it computer game?
Okay po, sir.
Mobile phone game? No?
So, parang i-specify ko po, sir, pati anong video games yung
Kasi yung magiging ano mo. Kasi
Kasi po
halimbawa,
masyadong vastly.
Halimbawa, yung mismong yung gagawin mong animation, naka-mobile phone lang naman pala yung ipe-present mo do sa animation mo, di ba? So,
Okay po, sir.
alam nila, yung animation mo is targeting game addicts or games about mobile phone.
Okay po, sir.
Okay? Sige, proceed
Okay po.
with number 2.
Then my second title proposal, sir, is a benefits of esports scholarship on college students. I'll read the introduction, sir. According to the NCAAsports.org on their article about esports scholarships guide, esports is one of the fastest growing sports in the world that is played on a computer. Short for electronic sports, esports are team-based video game competitions watched in person or online by spectators on Twitch. Like traditional sports, players wear team jerseys, compete in arenas, and communicate with teammates and coaches as the game unfolds. In 2019, the global esports industry is expected to hit $1.1 billion and capture a fan base of 454 million. The term esports refers to the video games played competitively by two or more opponents, increasingly by professional gamers for monetary gain in front of audiences both on and offline. They are organized competitions based around multiplayer games of strategy, combat, or sports, with rules, referees, and spectators. Many students will enjoy playing video games and desire to pursue a profession in something they enjoy practicing or working hard at. They may be enthralled by the potential of fame, financial rewards, the opportunity to travel to various places, or the opportunity to meet like-minded individuals from different other universities. Playing video games can give a lot of benefits to teenager or adults. Some of the benefits are good health, hand-eye coordination, critical thinking, problem solving, pathway for scholarships. This is for students and etc. It has been argued that gaming is a waste of time. Slowly, though, the advantages of gaming began to be studied and brought to the public's notice. Then I'll move on for the problem statement. one of the major concerns in the esports industry is that it is still being introduced in other countries, such as the Philippines, since it is a new thing. As a result, not all schools and universities are anticipated to have this program and be willing to include it in their present school scholarship programs yet. But there are schools and universities that are showing curiosity and making adjustments to try and fit this new program to give students a new scholarship to show interest to and might help them give more chances on getting jobs or careers that are connected to video games. Then, according to the article made by App News from March 2021, male gamers held 90.4% of roster spots and received 88.5% of scholarship funds in a sample of 27 public American schools surveyed by the AP during this school year. As a result, there's a possibility it may happen in the Philippines. As an outcome, male gamers will have more opportunities than female gamers. Also, an article from EdSurge from February 27, 2019 states that the majority of popular esports titles fall into a handful of video game genres such as first-person shooters, MOBAs, um, racing, and sports. Unfortunately, these genres also happen to have the lowest percentage of female identifying players. Then I'll move on to the goal of the the study. The goal of this study is to create a 2D educational animation about the benefits of our esports scholarship. This will let schools and universities know what benefits would an esports scholarship program give to college students. Because this is a new scholarship program where college students can showcase their skill, competitiveness, and leadership by playing video games with other schools by a form of tournament drills, scrimmages, and practice. While on this scholarship program, students can also think of the goals that they want to achieve with their coaches and teammates. In addition, not only this can showcase their hidden skills and talents on competitive gaming, this can this project can also help them build their character and can show their cooperation, coordination, and camaraderie towards students from other schools. This will also increase their academic and social engagement, explore concepts and career paths, and their collaborations and teamwork skills. Move on Moving on for the objective of the study. In regards of this project, there are few objectives that would like to be accomplished, and hopefully the objectives of this study can help the goals to be accomplished. The objectives of this project are stated below. The first one is to create a 2D educational animation introducing esports. Then the second one is to help college students know what benefits will be given with this scholarship. Then the last one is to help students and universities get a new scholarship program that might interest a lot of current and upcoming college students. Then moving on for the target users, the target users are the schools and universities that are interested to this project to give to college students. And college students are a great target user since college students fit in the legal age who plays video games, which is 18 to 20 years of age and above. However, this study can also be targeted to any college student that goes to universities that are willing to put the program on their current scholarships. This can be also targeted to the college students of Systems Plus College Foundation. Then, ito po yung Gantt chart. Yun lang po.
Okay, so papalitan mo pa rin yung Gantt chart niyan, ha? So, it applies. Panigurado yung pangatlong Gantt chart mo, ganyan din.
Yes, sir.
Now, ang question ko lang dyan is, you have to find, kasi scholarship yung inaano mo, you have to find the school na pwede mong gawing example.
Yes, sir.
No? Oo, na meron silang scholarship. And you have to let's say, for example, dun sa ano mo, balik ka nga sa goals mo.
Ayan po, sir.
Ayan. Though hindi naman kailangan ilagay dito, pero dun sa animation mo niyan, pagka ito yung na-approve, kailangan maipakita what are the benefits of being an esports scholar. Yung mga ganun.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So, yun. Ang comment lang dito is kailangan magbigay ka ng, kasi mahirap kasing i-present mo yan na sasabihin mo mayroong scholarship. Tapos, hindi rin naman yan kagaya ng halimbawa, mapapanood yan ng school tapos kukuha na sila ng scholarship.
Opo, sir.
It's like that. Hindi
True.
siya ganun. No? Okay? So, at least you have to find a school example. Okay? So, siguro kahit hindi ka kumausap ng school, magtingin ka lang. what would be your example school para dito? Okay,
Yes, sir.
maybe not here. Okay, pero pwede sa ibang bansa. Sa ibang bansa kasi marami 'yan.
Okay po,
Okay?
sir.
So ilalagay mo rin siya doon sa ano mo, sa introduction mo. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Tapos sa goal mo, babaguhin mo lang din ng konti, i-insert mo 'yon.
Okay
Okay?
po, sir.
Okay, third topic tayo.
My final title proposal is the impact of animation during the pandemic. I'll move on for the introduction of this study. According to Gibson Dillon from March 13, 2019, the earliest known animated film was made in France in 1906, titled Humorous Faces of Funny Faces, and was made from chalk pictures. Since then, other small animations were made, but the first animation cartoon with synchronized was made by Walt Disney in 1928, called Steamboat Willie. Many cartoons like this followed, and they were used to entertain viewers with gags and charades of drawn characters. 9 years later, Disney released the first full-length feature film, Snow White, and in 1993, software for 3D animation was created. Through animation creation, animation provides its viewers with a one-of-kind experience. There are 5 forms of animation in the animation production. Through the many details of how they function, they each provide an unique experience. The audience may then select which one they would want to involve in. Traditional animation, 2D animation, 3D animation, motion graphics animation, and stop motion animation are the 5 forms of animation. On this modern era, there are a lot of animated films you can watch on social platforms like Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, etc., or in TV channels like Disney Channel, Disney Plus, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and etc. Since the very first created animation, it had a significant influence on a larger number of People, people were able to express their stories and express thoughts and feelings in a unique, easy to understand way that both little children and adults could appreciate thanks to the animation. Moving on for the problem statement. Since there are so many various types of animation, this study will just focus on the statistics of 2D and 3D made animation and will put the statistics on stop motion, traditional, and motion graphics that impacted people during the epidemic. Because 2D and 3D are the most commonly used technique in doing animation, and almost all of the added and trending animations on social platforms and TV channels are on 2D and 3D. The researchers conducted this study to determine which 2D and 3D made animation had they watched has impacted them during the pandemic. The researchers are certain that this study will also help others in determining which animations had an influence on them. With this study, it can help other researchers as well on their own research study about this topic in the future. Moving on, the goals of the study. The researchers' goal to this study is to conduct a survey to know what 2D animations and 3D animations have the respondents watched and had an impact on them physically or emotionally during this epidemic. This can also give the researchers the statistics on what 2D and 3D series or movie is mostly being watched. Moving on, the objectives. In regards of this project, there are a few objectives that would like to be accomplished, and hopefully, the objectives of this study can help the goals to be accomplished. The objectives of this project are stated below. The first one is to create a survey questionnaire that would ask the respondents what 2D or 3D animations have the respondents watched and what animations in particular had an impact to them. Then the last one is to identify and sort out what 2D and 3D animations are mostly being watched during the pandemic to be used for future researches. Then the target users for this are the elementary, high school, and college students of Systems Plus College Foundations. Students are a perfect fit for this study since a lot of students watch animations. However, this study can also be targeted to any elementary, high school, and college students or to any people who have watched 2D and 3D animations. Then, ito lang po yung Gantt chart ko, sir. Yun lang po.
Oh, ang comment ko lang balik ka sa goals. Okay, in your goal, you did not mention what is your output. Kasi ang nilagay mo lang dito,
Yes, sir.
the researcher goal is to conduct survey, no? So hindi siya this would not be acceptable, no, kung magkakandak ka lang ng survey. So you have to put kung ano yung pinaka final output mo dito. Would it be edutainment? Would it be a short film? Would it be a 2D, a 3D, no? Okay?
Okay po.
Pero yung ilalagay mo dito is yung survey, medyo hindi siya pwede.
Okay po.
Okay? Ano ba, bigyan mo nga ako ng idea, ano yung magiging parang output mo dito?
Ano, sir? Based on the topic, sir, gusto ko po makuha yung goal ko, sir, as in literally dito. Kung mag-conduct ako ng survey to the students, elementary, high school, and college students, or any persons who watched 2D or 3D animations during the pandemic, then I wanna know, sir, na kung anong type ng 2D or 3D animation na pinanood nila na nagkaroon ng impact sa kanila, sir, or physically or emotionally, sir.
Paano mo mape-present yun in an output base?
Ano, sir? Parang yung sa ano, sir, iba palang research way to pala to, sir. Hindi ko na
Oo,
hindi po siya
iba
ano,
kasi
sir.
siya.
Sir.
Oo, kahit saan mo tignan, survey kasi yung gusto mo
Survey ka pa,
mangyari.
sir.
Oo, so siguro palitan mo na lang yung goal mo,
Okay
no?
po.
Okay, so mapapalitan dito yung goal mo tsaka yung objective mo.
Okay po, sir.
Okay, so palitan mo 'yan. So in line, no? Tama naman yung topic eh, pero i-inline mo dun sa pinaka-output mo which is a
Okay po.
capstone project.
Okay po, sir.
Okay? So yun yung mga notes ko ha, kasama yung mga Gantt charts
Gantt
ko.
chart, sir. Okay po, sir.
Okay?
Okay
Question,
po.
may question ka? Bago ako mag-proceed sa next student.
Yung sa online games po, sir, yung papalitan ko is yung goal na i-specify ko na lang po anong one goal yung gagawin ko, sir.
Sa game?
Online
Yung sa
games, sir.
game? Oo.
Opo, sir. Positive and
Specify
negative
mo
effects.
anong particular? Is it
Okay
mobile?
po, sir.
Is it
Is it
PC?
PC? Okay po, sir.
Oh. Oo,
Then
no.
sa esports,
Specify mo.
specify is school, sir.
Magbigay ka ng isang school or dalawang school na ganun na yung ginagawa nila at nagbe-benefit yung mga scholar.
Okay po, sir. Then the third
Tapos
one, sir,
itong third,
yung
totally papalitan mo.
totally goal and objective, sir. Okay po,
Kasi
sir.
survey type siya. Ah,
Okay po, sir.
okay. Sige.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, next tayo. Okay, open your camera, then start sharing your screen, then start discussing. JB, what happened?
So, sir, hiling na po ako.
Yeah, okay na.
Okay.
Pa-share ako ng screen mo, tapos start ka na.
Start now, sir.
Yeah, sige.
My first topic, sir, is phishing attacks. Actually, phishing attack is one of the most common scams, no? Kahit before, nandiyan na siya sa mga, nandiyan na siya. Actually, common to sa mga emails, yung mga email scams. Yung they will send you spam messages that they will give you a link that will lead you to a fake website or links na they can access your identity, your information, no? Such as yung mga usernames, password, addresses, social security numbers, no? Mga pins, and any further information that can be made to seem plausible. And according to Statista Research Department of 2021, the number of phishing cybercrime incidents in the Philippines was highest for those within the National Capital Region, amounting to approximately 58.2 thousand victims. And nowadays, lahat naman, halos kasi ngayon is gumagamit na ng mga online transactions. So dito na rin nangyayari yung mga various attacks. For example na lang yung mga fake customer representatives. For example, yung may mga magte-text sa iyo na there is something wrong daw about your sa credit card or bank account. And then pag nag-call sila is kapani-paniwala talaga kasi the way they speak and the way they handle you, is akala mo totoo talaga silang mga representatives. And unti-unti, nakukuha nila yung mga information mo para ma-access yung credit card mo or yung mga bank accounts mo. And isa sa examples dito is yung mga fake websites or applications. Recently, may nakita akong mga post na merong isang fake Facebook applications na pag inopen mo talaga is akala mo totoong Facebook talaga siya kasi yung design and yung interaction and the way kung paano ka mag-type is similar talaga siya sa Facebook. Kaya lang pinagkaiba, pag linagay mo na information mo and then login, it's a blank white page lang. Ang nangyayari nun is nakuha na information mo sa Facebook, which na-access na ng mga hackers nun. And the goal of this study is to implement a 2D animated short film to show our awareness how dangerous phishing fraud to a unguided user. Also to educate the users how the attacker can easily manipulate to reveal the user sensitive information. And with this project, the researchers can improve their awareness to avoid phishing attacks. The next is the objectives of this research is to show awareness for all users by creating a 2D animated short film, and also to have a deep understanding about phishing to avoid fraudulent scams. The target user here is generally the goal of this project is to attract all users to watch and have a realization about the topic. The target user for this project is all social media users aged 18 years old and above, This is because 18 years old and above are the most active in terms of using social media. However, the film can also be watched by different ages of people. And my next topic, sir, is plagiarized artwork. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary of 2011, defines the act of plagiarism as to steal and pass off the ideas or words of another as one's own without the owner's consent. Um, actually, sa ngayon, maraming, especially sa mga students, common na dito yung mga plagiarism, no? Yung about sa mga essays or anything basta nag-steal ka is considered plagiarism. And also, dahil ang topic natin is plagiarized artwork, mag-focus tayo about sa mga designs, no, sa mga photography, visual designs or artworks, mga na-plagiarize. And isa dito sa mga napi-plagiarize is as an artist, ano, kapag we are making a design, of course, lahat tayo gumagamit ng mga reference. Pero hindi siya mako-consider plagiarism as long as the output is hindi siya kagaya sa source na pinagkuhanan mo. Kaya lang marami kasing artist din sa atin na kukuha sila ng mga reference, i-manipulate lang nila ng konti, and then it's okay na. So considered plagiarism pa rin kasi nandun pa rin yung source, gayang-gaya pa rin siya. Kaya lang hindi siya masyadong binibigyan ng mga some artist kasi as long as na hindi naman mag-boom or mag-trend yung artworks na ginaya nila, alam nila na hindi sila magkaka-issue sa plagiarism. And here, according to Indian J. Ophthalmol of 2009, plagiarism is a very serious offense that can result in punishment such as suspension or expulsion. Plagiarism can vary in its extent based on the amount of plagiarism. The goal here is to implement a 2D animated motion graphic video to show awareness how plagiarism is a very serious offense. With this project, the researchers can educate themselves and their fellow artists to avoid plagiarism artworks. Okay, sorry. The objective here is to show awareness for all artists by creating a 2D animation motion graphics video and also to have a deep understanding about plagiarism to prevent it. The target user here is to attract all artists to watch and have a realization about the topic. The target user for this project is all artists, especially students. However, the film can also be watched by different ages of people. And my last topic is Photoshop abuse. Actually, Photoshop is one of the most popular at ito yung mga common na ginagamit na software ngayon. It is actually a most powerful software na it has many features and you can do many things and almost everything. And according to Sean Pagin, Photoshop is arguably the most widely used, the most popular, and most powerful photo editing software in the world. Today, Photoshop is extremely powerful piece of software that changes the life of an artist. And right now, many amateurs and professionals is they abusing their skills with the use of Photoshop. Example na lang dito is yung pag-create ng mga fake documents, signature forging. Isa sa mga example nito is yung may nakita akong recent news nung nag-start ang pandemic. May mga few graphic artists or may mga ibang tao na nagpapa-edit ng mga COVID-19 results nila na mga nag-positive na pinapa-edit na sa mga graphic artists to make it negative. Yun isa sa mga examples ng mga creating a fake document, no? Yung pag-abuse by using Photoshop. And according to Alexa Lago in 2013, Photoshop is used to completely distort a woman's body into something it's not. Mostly common ito sa mga celebrities, no? To make them an issue, may mga certain na Photoshop user na dinalagay yung mukha ng isang celebrities into a different body, for example, mga nudes, ano, para siraan yung certain celebrity nun. And the goal a 2D animated video to show the people how Photoshop are being abused. With this project, the researchers will gain knowledge of today's technology. The objective here is to show awareness of all people about how dangerous the technology today by creating a 2D animated video. Also, to have a deep understanding about the technology is being abused. The target user here is to attract all people to watch and have a realization about the topic. The target user for this project is all people who use social media. However, this can be also watched by different ages of people. That's the end of my slide, sir.
Okay. So actually yung mga topic mo, they are strong topics, no? Lahat sila magaganda. Okay? So and it has a goal. Ngayon, ang kulang lang dito sa documentation mo is yung timeline mo. Wala kang Gantt chart, no? So ibig
Kaya
sabihin,
nalagyan, sir.
kailangan mo lagyan to ng Gantt chart, no? At the same time, since ang focus mo is cybercrime, no? You have to indicate doon sa document mo that ipapakita mo rin, no? Most probably, hindi lang yan i-educate. Kasi kung i-educate mo lang, walang reinforcement. So, kailangan ipakita mo dito what are the possible violations na pwede nilang malabag. Let's say, for example, plagiarism. Saan sila mag-fall under? Okay, phishing. Saan sila mag-fall under? Okay? Yang abuse in Photoshop, let's say nag-edit ako ng muka, tapos o kaya nag-edit ako ng itsura, tapos okay, naggumawa ako ng meme, no? Tapos mayroon akong pinakalat na fake news, saan ako magfo-fall under? So siguro dun sa goal mo, ilagay mo lang din doon, no? Parang idudugtong mo lang, idadagdag mo lang. Dun sa goal mo na you want to educate, kasi ang nakalagay sa iyo dyan is to educate eh. It's like a campaign, di ba? So parang i-educate mo sila what would be the possible sanctions kapag ka ginawa nila yon. Okay? So halimbawa yung sa phishing, no? Ang goal mo doon is paano ma-avoid, di ba? Paano ma-avoid yung mga phishing sites, di ba? Pero parang dadagdagan mo na rin, you're going to add na kung halimbawa ginawa na yon, okay? O kaya may nakita silang phishing sites, ano yung dapat nilang gawin? Halimbawa, ako, nakakita ako ng phishing sites, iiwasan ko lang ba? Or meron akong pwedeng gawin, I could report it ba? Pwede ko ba siyang i-report? Okay, so idadagdag mo lang yun. Ganun. No? Okay, dun sa ano mo, specific objective mo na lang. Sa goal mo, okay na ako dun eh. Sa specific objective mo. So, dagdagan mo yon. Yung tatlong topic mo na yon, dagdagan mo sila. How are you going to insert that in your specific objective? No? Parang, dagdagan mo lang sila ng reinforcement. Okay na yung topic mo. Strong na yung topic mo. Okay? Kaso nga lang, syempre, if you're going to make it a capstone material, maiksi siya. Okay? Maiksi siya. So, kailangan ng parang reinforcement para at least if, halimbawa, no, phishing site, yan yung na-approve. Paano mo pa-expand yan ng 15 minutes? Yung storyline mo ng 15 minutes. Yun yung ano mo dyan. Kaya kailangan parang may reinforcement. So, halimbawa, may kwento ba si Juan, ganito yung ginagawa, no? Napunta siya dito, ganito yung ginawa niya. So, parang gano'n, no? Okay? So, yung edited neto, ang idadagdag mo dito is yung Gantt chart mo and then another specific objective for enforcement. Okay? So, hintayin mo
Objective
kasi
po lahat yun, sir. Objective po lahat, no?
Specific. No. Doon sa yung PowerPoint presentation mo, i-edit mo 'yan. Tapos if you are the last person who will going to present today, okay? Next week mag-a-up ako ng link wherein you're going to upload all the edited PowerPoint presentation together with your other classmates kasi lahat sila may revision. Okay? So eto, after we meet, pwede mo nang i-edit to in accordance to the specification na sinabi ko. And then once I up the link, pwede mo na siyang i-submit. You don't need to represent pa yung topic, no? Okay. Now, i-mark nyo na lang kung ano yung mga dinadagdag nyo. Let's say for example, yung market trend, no? Pero i-specify ko pa rin dun sa sa link na kung paano ko makikita kung ano yung binago natin. Okay? Clear tayo?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. May question ka? Do you have any question? Okay,
Wala naman po.
Okay na tayo. Okay. Thank you, JB.
Thank you, sir.